Hola Bandidos, welcome to Mel's Magic, episode 9 of season 3. Está lloviendo hoy, it's raining, which is really good because I don't think it has rained enough over the past months here in Spain where we are, so welcoming the rain. Y a ver, ¿con dónde estamos? Yeah, we're in the process of things. We're always in the process of things. Yesterday, this feeling of doom would not leave me, and I guess there is a fear in me that, oh my god, we can't go back, we can't regress, we gotta make ourselves feel better. So I guess it was a kind of despair. I was feeling negative emotion and I felt a despair, a kind of urge to escape the negative emotion because I felt like, oh God, it's gonna swamp me, it's gonna take over me. I can't let this happen. So I felt this physical pressure building up inside of me, and I said, right, move. Physically go out there and move. So I went for a walk, really power walking. But this anxiety wouldn't leave me. It's a kind of compressed feeling in the chest and is almost like a pressure cooker coming up. So basically, I spent most of the day yesterday moving. I went to, well, there was a point where I was like, right, not sure what to do, but I know from my toolbox, my first aid kit, I call it, emotional first aid kit, that one way of releasing the energy is physical movement, and which then we know what the positive effects are just neurochemically, biochemically. So I'm like, right, I'm gonna pull out that, keep on pulling out that tool. It's my neighbor driving a big car. Yeah. So around 5, I was like, shit, should I go out and run now? I've already done that in the morning. And then this thought came up, let's just go play basketball. But immediately the voice came in like, I can't believe this is the only thing you can come up with, playing basketball like a kid. But I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna go. I just have this like instinct, let's just go there. As I was riding my bicycle towards the basketball court, there was the story of my ego saying, you're such a kid. Only kids play basketball. What the fuck are you doing? And I was like, just listening to the voice, going for it anyway. Reached the basketball court. Weather was nice. There wasn't anyone actually playing on the court, just some kids playing. Oh no, there was training of smaller kids with their trainer and some football guys playing football. So I had the big court to myself. And then I was thinking, you know what? Instead of thinking you're pretty silly of going out there playing basketball court on a public basketball court. Then another way of suddenly this other insight came like, actually, I'm pretty fucking cool. Like, I don't know many girls who know to play ball and who go out there and play ball. And literally, and then I started feeling better about myself. I'm like, this is actually pretty cool. I'm actually pretty good also. I'm gonna post a picture of me playing ball on my own right now. Let's see if this works. There you go. That was me at the court. So, and then then the guys who were playing football, I don't know, they must have been like 15 years old, came over and we shared the court, but they only had their football to play, So I was watching them and I said, you know what, I'm just going to ask them if they want to play a game because there was 3 of them, so we would make 4. And I overrid my insecurity, like, oh, I can't ask them. I just go and ask them. So I went and asked them. I said, hey, ¿queréis jugar un partido? Do you want to play a game? And first, I think they were a bit shy. They were like, no, we don't know how to play. But thank you. And then I'm like, all right. So I just continue playing. And then a few minutes later, they come up. They said, okay, can we play? I'm like, yeah, vamos. And it was good because I wanted this physical exhaustion, when you run from one end to the court to the other and you're like, and I even suggested let's do full court, which I secretly regretted after a few minutes of like complete exhaustion. But it was good. It really got my heart pumping. And we had a lot of fun. But the conclusion was yesterday I was continuing to fight this sinking feeling in my stomach, this story or this self that is enwrapped in the story of like, oh, poor me, or I can't do this, it's not working, we're trying to change and it's not working, look, it's not working, like this story. And I was trying to desperately escape this oppressive, constricting feeling, so through exercise. And to a certain extent it helped. I mean, obviously, we always feel better after exercise. But still, I knew that it wouldn't solve the root issues. I was trying desperately to look on YouTube and listening to all kinds of people. How can I handle this? And the conclusion is I need to go into the feeling. Instead of trying to escape it, and my ego is so scared for some reason to face this feeling, because I think it knows that if we step into the feeling, it's dissolution. I think it's a kind of ego death. And my ego is like, no, we're going back. Woe is me, at least And I think it's that obviously doesn't work. I'm tired of it. I'm almost like one step in my old self and one step in this unfolding me, which is full of light and power and creativity, but this old self is still kind of leeching me back. So I'm in this tug of war at the moment, and I know struggling doesn't help. So my next step now is to go into the feeling. No more escaping. We've got the tools of self-care. We've got meditation, morning pages, Yin Shin Jitsu, exercise. We are reaching out for support, going back to dream analysis. I'm going to start deep coaching. I mean, I've got a net around me that can catch me, but I feel what the thing to do is actually to go into it myself. No more escaping, and I have to shed another skin, which I thought, we already like fell apart. Was it last year or the year before? But maybe we just need to go through it again. Vamos. And yeah, this new process I'm trying out is something Teal Swan suggested, is following the emotion and breathing and stepping, letting yourself fall into it completely, immersing yourself in it rather than pushing it away and resisting and fighting it and doing something else to distract myself. So I'm going to try this process. And this is a highly, I guess, self-obsessed, self-obsession here. But I just know that I feel I cannot progress in my other areas of life if I don't resolve this, because it's holding me back. There's a subconscious thing holding me back. So I want to dive into it. And I want to tell myself, we've come so far. There's no going back anymore. There is no going back. I want different. I want new. I want to feel expansive. I want to feel powerful. I want to share my voice. I don't want insecurities to hold me back. I was even thinking with this, this is maybe, I'm talking about myself, but maybe it's a way for me also to prove to myself there is value in this. There is value in sharing myself like this. And it's one way of acting rather than being just paralyzed by fear and insecurities. It's one way of pushing myself to reach out and to put myself out there. through the mud, in my muddy moments, in the whole process of unfolding. If you look back in my other uh, seasons, there's been a whole, and I'm trying out different things, tarot cards, oracle cards, um, more maybe contemplative ways of sharing my experiences, but it's always me in the process. You know, they're like, these episodes are like snapshots of myself in this process of unfolding, and I'm not sure where it's taking me, but hey, it's all a process. And I want to share the one card I pulled today, which is very symbolic, as they always are. It's this one. It's from the Enchanted map oracle cards. Is basically ride the wave in the reverse. So look at this. I mean, first there's an elf on these two dolphins, and there's a massive wave, which looks pretty cool, but it also looks pretty intimidating. And I'm not sure if I shared, yeah, I think I've shared that one of my main challenges is to learn how to ride the wave of emotions and not fight them, but to ride the wave. No, so in the reverse, to me, it very much talks about how I'm in the midst of it. I'm like, whoa, there's this huge wave coming. I mean, I overcame one of my fear of waves last November when it was on my bucket list to learn how to surf. So I went to Lanzarote with my mother and took this diving course, surf course, which was, it was quite funny. There's a whole other story now. Maybe I'll tell that. Oh, it's already long. Maybe I'll tell it quickly. Okay. Went to Lanzarote, like, okay, I'm going to learn how to surf, like, you know, Hawaii, surfboarding, board surfing, whatever. And they forgot to put me in this WhatsApp group. So I arrived 1 hour late at the surf shop. And I'm like, yo, where's everyone? And they're like, well, you're late. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know. Like, oh, we forgot to put you in the WhatsApp group. Go, let's go in. And they're still there at the beach. So it was all a mad rush, last minute rush. And then they put me in this group, which was advanced. And I didn't know. Here's me like, I once almost killed myself stepping on my brother's skateboard because it went, well, you know how it goes. And I was just like, ah. Anyway, so I was in the midst of things in this advanced group. I had no idea it was an advanced group. And it was actually also stormy. And the one good thing was that I had no time to think about it, because had I had some time to rationally think about the whole thing, my mind would have probably said, no way, we're not going out there. This is way too dangerous. But it's like, go, okay. Against the waves in the storm. And at one point I was like, wait a minute, this seems highly, I mean, I don't even know how to paddle almost. You know, I'm strong, I'm a good swimmer, but I can't do this. This is crazy, you know? Because everyone was like surfing these huge waves. I'm like, and I told the instructor, I'm like, perdona, I don't even know the basics, you know, like. And he's like, oh, I thought you're in advanced. I'm like, no, dude, I'm a beginner. I don't know what to do. And I'm like out there in the ocean with like these huge waves. anyway, it all went well, and I passed the course and everything. But riding the wave, literally, I've done it literally. I learned how to ride some waves, but metaphorically, emotionally, the challenge is still very much there. And in the reverse, it's literally that I'm in the midst of learning to ride this wave, emotional wave. And also maybe accepting that, you know, the tide goes in and out, and that maybe I feel that it's going out, that I'm somehow regressing, but it's not. It's just reculer pour mieux sauter in French. It's part of this process that, okay, maybe there's some unresolved, subconscious, emotional things I want to shed or need to shed, and that's why it feels like I'm going back, but it's actually, I'm not going back. I'm much more aware, I have better tools, I have a willingness to go through it, and I have a willingness to learn this and to surrender. I think surrender is the big word here, to surrender to the process and not freak out. So that's very much how I'm reading this message. So I'm going to try out Teal Swans. It's called Emotional. Following your emotions, and instead of running away from them, sink, like really feel the sensations in the body, breathe into them until apparently you come out. Because emotions are these vibrations in your body, no? They're a reflection of your vibration. So if you go in them, And let's say if it's a threatening emotion, you can, by going with it and following it, really following it through, you will come out at the other end with a higher vibration, feeling some kind of release. So I haven't put this to practice yet. I'm going to now. It's another step on the journey. Y con esto les dejo. And thanks for being here. I hope you have a wonderful Friday. Estamos a viernes. Yeah, and the hair, it's a weird hair day. I just woke up with this and like, let it unfold. Vale, les mando un saludo. Owl and I. Say hello.